a wise person should not disturb. Tan na vichalayet. By telling them that karma will not produce moksha. They should not be told karma is all bondage. Why do you do karma? Why do you pray? Why do you go to church or to the temple? Why do you do japa and meditation? This is all nonsense. Only Jnana will give you moksha. Such comments should not be made because they do not help anybody. A person should not be told not to work or that working for money is useless. Let the person work, otherwise, he or she will become lazy. Such people will end up at your door telling you that you said not to make money and now they need some. People need food and place to live. Whom else will they come to but the person who told them not to make money? Therefore, do not tell them not to make money. Tell them to do so, following dharma. You can even give them some ideas on how to go about it. There is nothing wrong with making money. It is a resource, Lakshmi, and as such should not be abused. If, on the other hand, you are talking to a person who has seen that money is not an end in itself and he or she has some viveka, then you can talk about karma yoga or sannyasa. It all depends on the person to whom you are talking. Krishna's point here was that the person should not be disturbed unnecessarily. Even a person who is a mumukshu, who has viveka, should not be indiscriminately told to take sannyasa. For someone who still has ragas, dveshas, sannyasa will not work. It will only be abused. Such a person should be told to perform action as a karma yogi, as Krishna told Arjuna in the next verse. So, to the Akritsavat, the one who has no viveka, they should continue doing the work. Even those who are mumukshu, they should be for that antakarana shuddhi, for that ground to be prepared. मयि सर्वाणि कर्माणि सन्न्यस्याध्यात्मचेतसा निराशी निर्ममो भूत्वा युध्यस्व विगतज्वरः सर्वाणि all कर्माणि actions मयि unto me sannyasya renouncing adhyatma chetasa with a mind that is discriminating nirashihi devoid of expectations with reference to the future nirmamah devoid of mindness bhutva being vigata jvarah without any anger or frustration युध्यस्व fight सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य अध्यात्मचेतसा निराशीः निर्ममः भूत्वा विगतज्वरः युध्यस्व renouncing all actions unto me with a mind that is discriminating devoid of expectations with reference to the future and any sense of mindness without any anger or frustration whatsoever. Fight. The word fight in this verse can refer to anything beginning with one's daily battle of getting out of bed in the morning. Throughout the day, also, there are a number of situations to be faced. For Arjuna, what had to be faced was an actual battle. The battle was a kartavyam karma, a to be done action for him. Given all that Arjuna and Krishna had said before, Krishna's mandate, get up and fight, was to be expected. It was neither a command nor advice. It was teaching. Having presented his arguments, Krishna simply said, do it. Thus, there was a definite therefore implied here, indicating teaching rather than a command or advice. The rest of the verse deals with how Arjuna was to fight. First, giving up all activities, fight. Sarvani karmani sanyasya yudhyasva. There are two types of sarva karma sannyasa, as we have seen. How can you fight if you have renounced all activities? It won't work. If, on the other hand, the mandate is renouncing all actions, go to a teacher and listen to the Shastra. Sarvani karmani sanyasya shravanam kuryat. Gurumeva bhi gachet. Giving up all activities, burning all your bridges behind you and your boats too, if you have any, go for moksha. The giving up is meant for learning alone, meaning that you go to a teacher and study until you gain the knowledge that is moksha. Renunciation is purely for moksha, not for anything else. We have seen how sannyasa is a particular lifestyle that enables a person to renounce all activities in order to pursue knowledge. But here, sannyasa is used in conjunction with the mandate. Renouncing all activity, fight. Sarvani karmani sanyasya yudhyasva. Fighting being an activity. What does giving up all activity mean? Does it mean that Arjuna is not to do anything other than fight? Performing only one action, give up every other activity, prayer, ritual, eating, sleeping, helping, everything, and fight? What does renunciation really mean? Obviously, because activity in the form of fighting is involved, this sannyasa is other than what we have seen before. Here it relates to doing what is to be done, which for Arjuna happens to be yuddha, fighting. Krishna was not suggesting that Arjuna give up all activities and fight. This would not have been possible. What was intended here becomes much clearer when the word vai, unto me, is taken into account. Unto me means unto the Lord, thereby connecting the giving up sannyasa with karma yoga, meaning that all one's activities are offered unto the Lord. In his commentary of this verse, Shankara compares this offering of one's actions to how a servant of a king goes about doing various activities without questioning how or why it is to be done. I have been placed here to do this particular activity. This is how I have been asked to do it, and therefore I do it. Similarly, whether you like it or not, you find yourself in a given situation that calls for a particular action. For Arjuna, it happened to be a battle, a fight. For another person, it may be something else. And although Arjuna was a Kshatriya, doing what was to be done would not always mean fighting. If he had taken the expression Sarvani Karmani Sanyasya Yudhyasva wrongly, he may have thought that he should always fight, which was not what was intended. Doing what is to be done is to be understood within the context of the situation one finds oneself in. Certain situations call for certain actions. Therefore, yudhyasva can be taken to mean kurusva. Do what is to be done and do it with awareness of Ishvara. Awareness of Ishvara is pointed out in the verse by the word Adhyatma Chetasa. Chetasa meaning with the mind. The mind should have Viveka. Adhyatma means with reference to oneself. Adhyatma Chetasas, Adhyatma Chetas enables you to know what is and what is not the right thing to do. This capacity is also called Viveka Buddhi. A Viveka Buddhi says, I am a doer, of course, but I do this for the sake of Ishvara as a Bhritya, the one who serves. Aham karta Ishvarasya Bhrityavat karomi. The person who performs action in this way is a mumukshu, a seeker, because the person thinks of himself or herself as a karta, he or she is a karma yogi. There is an evolution that can take place here. One who is not a karma yogi and who is totally deluded, vimudhatma, is also a karta, but still does karma for the results alone. His thought is, for my sake, I am doing this. For a Vimudhatma, expediency and convenience take precedence over a more appropriate means when choosing a course of action. Even though he or she may have one eye on dharma, the other eye can be somewhat blind if the person thinks there is any justification for going against dharma. So, Swakarma tam abhyarja. I think in the next few chapters, Bhagwan says, you do what you have to do in a particular situation with a Ishwar in mind, with that awareness that na ham karta, I am not the karta. He is the bhartya who is doing this. So that is the karma yogi. Otherwise, those who follow their raga dvesha and does the action, dharmic action, of course, they are vimudhatma, they are following their raga dvesha and they have one eye on dharma, but the other eye is on what I will get out of doing this, what will be my benefit. So their kartritva, bhuktrutva is very strong. So beautiful meaning of Adhyatma Chetas. It means that the person who has that Viveka Buddhi, they are Adhyatma Chetasa. They have that mind where they have Ishwararpana Buddhi And Vivek Buddhi, what is real and what is unreal. Yeah, anyone wants to share, or if you want me to repeat anything, please do let me know. So here Arjuna is Kshatriya and his dharma is at that point of time to do to fight. This was done by Sumaji yesterday. I was just quickly, I think she completed this also. You are placed in situations that you did not create. The Karma Yogi, on the other hand, performs action quite differently for the sake of Ishvara. Therefore, an awareness is necessary, which is Viveka here. Adhyatma Chetasa, with a mind that is awakened to Ishvara. Do all the activities that you are going to do, surrendering them unto me. Krishna said here. Why? Because you are placed in situations that you did not create, nor does anything really belong to you. Everything belongs to Ishvara alone. Thus, you are placed in certain situations, and the order of dharma governing such situations is the Lord. The order determines what is expected of you in each situation. And as a karma yogi, you do it with an awareness of this fact. And what is that fact? That fact is that everything, Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Everything is Ishvara. And you are doing the actions also for the sake of Ishvara. Further, Krishna said, Nirashihi. Nirashihi nirmamaha bhutva yudhyasva. Nirashihi is one from whom all notions about the future, Asha, have gone. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, Brahmaraji. This Asha, is it? Further, Krishna said, Nirashihi nirmamaha bhutva yudhyasva. Nirashihi is one from whom all notions about the future, Asha, have gone. Future plans, goals, grandiose schemes, and priorities can stifle and inhibit one's present course of action with reference to what is to be done now. A person who thinks only of the future will compromise what is to be done in the present, thereby becoming a schemer. Such a person is not a karma yogi. He or she is an aviveki, one who performs karma for the results alone. What is to be done is not done if it is inhibited by your own asha. Thus, Nirashi is one who is not inhibited by futuristic ambitions nor devoid of ambitions. Such beautiful word. Nirashihi. So Krishna said that you do, Gurudev has given us the 5 points, right? We are either thinking about the past action or about the future plans. We are never in the present moment. So here Bhagavan also is saying that when you do your present action by keeping in mind Ishvara, then that is Nirashihi. He is not inhibited by his futuristic ambitions and at the same time nor devoid of ambitions. Nirmama means one from whom mamatva, the mindness, is gone. Such a person no longer thinks in terms of this is mine, this is not mine, which also inhibits what is to be done. This is not my job. I'm not getting anything out of this. Why should I do this when it is his job? He is supposed to do it. This mindness or mamatva is the greatest villain in the maturing process of a person. Because to be mature, one has to see only what is to be done. Therefore, mamatva should not interfere with one's doing what is to be done. We can see by these two words, nirashi and nirmama, that karma yoga is not an ordinary thing. It requires a lot of maturity and an awareness of the laws that are Ishvara. Karma yoga does not mean that you should not receive wages for the work you do, although there may be situations where it would be more appropriate not to. What makes you a karma yogi is simply the awareness of Ishvara, as we have seen before and will see again. Another word given in this verse describing how one is to perform action is Vigata Jwaraha, meaning to be free from all anger and frustration. Suppose a man wants to do what is to be done in a given situation that Ishvara has placed him or her in, but thinks that Ishvara has placed him in a wrong situation. He acknowledges that Ishvara knows what he is doing, but still thinks of it as a wrong situation and becomes frustrated. This frustration is what is meant by Jvara, leading to murmuring, complaining. By using the word Vigata Jvara, Krishna told Arjuna to fight cheerfully without a dash of complaint, frustration, despair, or anger. Very beautiful. I read this all three words Nirashi, Nirmama, and Vigata Jvara. Nirashi, the one who is without any asha. And Nirmama is without the mamatva. And Vigata Jvaraha, without anger and frustration. I read once again. We can see by these two words, Nirashi and Nirmama, that Karma Yoga is not an ordinary thing. It requires a lot of maturity and an awareness of the laws that are Ishvara. Karma Yoga does not mean that you should not receive wages for work you do, although there may be situations where it would be more appropriate not to. What makes you a Karma Yogi is simply the awareness of Ishvara, as we have seen before and will see again. Another word given in this verse describing how one is to perform action is Vigata Jvaraha, meaning to be free from all anger and frustration. Suppose a man wants to do what is to be done in a given situation that Ishvara has placed him or her in, but thinks that Ishvara has placed him in a wrong situation. He acknowledges that Ishvara knows what he is doing, but still thinks of it as a wrong situation and becomes frustrated. This frustration is what is meant by jvara, leading to murmuring, complaining. By using the word Vigata Jvara, Krishna told Arjuna to fight cheerfully without a dash of complaint, frustration, despair, or anger. So, in the first chapter, Arjuna was all filled with Vishada. So, Bhagwan is advising him here in the third chapter to fight, but that also with cheerfully, without any despair or regret. I think till here it was read by Sumaji yesterday. Anyone would like to share or wants me to repeat? Please let me know. So Nirashihi, Nirmama, and Vigatachara. We have to remember that whatever we do, wherever we are, and whatever we are doing it for the Ishvara, and in whichever situation you are placed in, without any complaint, frustration, you have to do what is to be done. The knowledge has to be moment to moment, isn't it? Otherwise, it is always like, only why only me? Okay, I'll go to the next verse. Further, Krishna said, Ye me matamidam nityam anutiஷ்ठन्ति manavaha श्रद्धावन्तो न सूयन्तो मुच्यन्ते तेऽपि कर्मभिः. Shraddhavantah, people who have faith. Anasuyantah, those who do not find fault, not intolerant of the goodness in others. Ye, those. Manavaha, people. Me, my. Idam, this. Matam, teaching. Nityam, constantly. Anutishtanti, follow. Te, they. Api, even. Karmabhihi, muchyante, are released by the karmas, karma phalas. Shraddhavantah anasuyantah ye manavaha me idam matam nityam anutishtanti te api karmabhihi muchyante. Those people who constantly follow this teaching of mine, full of faith, without asuya, without finding fault with the teaching or the teacher, they too are released by the karma phalas. They are freed from the hold of the karma phalas. They gain moksha. Arjuna was Anasuya, right? Because he never found fault in others. That is why he was favorite of Lord Krishna also. I repeat once again the meaning of the shloka. Those people who constantly follow this teaching of mine, full of faith, without asuya. Asuya, without finding fault with the teaching or the teacher, they too are released by the karma phalas. They are freed from the hold of the karma phalas. They gain moksha. We have seen the three types of people who perform karma. One type were kings like Janaka, who were also jnanis, wise men, all of whom remained active even though they had the knowledge. They engaged themselves in activities simply because it was in their prarabdha to do so. They had to do it, and therefore they did it. There was no reason not to. They had nothing to lose, and others benefited from their action. Those who do nothing but teach, having gained the knowledge, can also be included in this group, teaching being an activity. Sarva karma sannyasa is the renunciation of all activities in terms of knowledge alone. It is not to be taken literally as we have seen. In terms of knowledge, you are not the doer. Knowing this frees you completely from all action, whether you perform activities or not. You may be a sannyasi or you may be very active in the world. In this way, then, there are two types of enlightened people, sannyasis and non-sannyasis, with reference to lifestyle. But in terms of knowledge, there is sarva karma sannyasa for both. Although Janaka was a king engaged in a lot of activity, he was considered to be enlightened here. He was considered to be enlightened. Here, Krishna told Arjuna that even if he was enlightened, he could continue to do karma for the benefit of the world, as Janaka did, for the sake of establishing dharma, so that the people would be protected. Krishna knew very well what his own mission was, saying, "Look at me, I too perform actions, not because I have something to accomplish, but because if I do nothing, others will follow my example, which would not be good for them." All this Krishna pointed out. A second type of people who perform karma are avivekis, those who have no discrimination and therefore no desire for moksha. They are only interested in fulfilling their likes and dislikes, for which they engage in activities. More often than not, such people cut corners and sometimes take the wrong path in order to accomplish their ends. These people can only be asked to come to Dharma. Let them pursue whatever they want to pursue according to Dharma. That itself is a blessing. So here once again, Bhagavan brought those Vimudhatma and those who are Jnani, Viveki. So, beautiful example of King Janaka or our Gurudev also. They remain engaged in a lot of activity, but amidst the activity also, they are always unattached with anything, with the results or with the outcomes. And the second type of people are those who are doing the karma, but they are interested only in fulfilling their raga dveshas. So they engage themselves in activities. So we have to, so they are to be guided to do the activity as per the dharma. Yeah, please share your understanding. One's choice is surrendered to what is proper. Finally, for those who are mumukshu, who have raga, dveshas, Krishna pointed out karma yoga. Such people can either take to sannyasa or karma yoga, either of which involves giving up, tyaga. For a sannyasi, tyaga means karma tyaga as well as all other tyagas, covering any pursuit of attachment. The person has to grow out of each and every one of them, renouncing them all before becoming a sannyasi. Or one can be a karma yogi. Such a person does what is to be done simply because it is to be done. The karma yogi's commitment to moksha being what it is, his or her choice of action has nothing to do with what he or she likes to do. If, on the other hand, the emphasis is on doing what is convenient and what one likes to do, even a child will eventually question why he or she cannot do certain things. He or she will say, who are you to stop me? That is how you brought me up. Why, now that I am 16, are you trying to stop me from doing what I want to do? It does not make sense. You have always asked me what I want, and this is what I want. The psyche tends to react in this way when this particular approach is taken. Such an approach is not always right, nor does the world necessarily operate in such a way. Therefore, what is proper becomes important. To do what is proper may involve sacrifice in terms of your own pleasures, your own likes and dislikes. Unless you can give them up, it is impossible to always do what is to be done, kartavya. Therefore, propriety, not convenience, should be the ruling factor, all of which is implied in Karma Yoga. A Karma Yogi is a bhakta, a devotee. Without devotion, without the awareness of Ishvara, there is no Karma Yoga. Having said all this before, Krishna again picked up this thread. Performing all activities for the Lord's sake is one great yajna. One great offering. What you have to do in the situation you find yourself in is done as something that is dictated by Ishvara, meaning karma. Karma is the law, and the law is Ishvara. The choice of doing this or that is given to you, and that choice is surrendered to what is obvious. Each situation is nothing but karma unfolding itself, and inherent in it is an obvious course of action and expected action. This is what you do because this is how you have placed yourself based on your own past actions. And whatever are the results of the actions you perform, you simply receive them as prasada. So that Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. He is a devotee. The one who is a karma yogi, he is a bhakta. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. So here again, when he is doing everything for the sake of Ishvara, assuming that Ishvara is the law, Ishvara is the action. Then he is that karma yogi, mumukshu, who is doing the activities for the sake of Ishvara. And as a yajna bhava, the one who accepts everything, whatever the result may be, as per his expectation or not as per his expectation, or in the middle, not so great or not so bad. Still, he accepts everything as prasad buddhi.
Jai Gurudev, I was just going to China's notes. Found that he was talking about surrender in deep. He says surrender means totally accepting everything. See, raga dvesha is what actually you don't want that quality in that person or that situation. You're not accepting. That means so everything boils down to your acceptance. Wherever you have been put, if you have to go beyond this karma, the whole creation has been created, God's play of consciousness. So wherever you are, you have not written any script here. You come here, just you have been put there in this cosmic puzzle. So you have to, whatever is to be done, you have to do without any raga, dvesha, such things. That is surrender. That is the meaning of it. Thank
Very
you, Jay.
beautiful. Here, I think this point, this paragraph, we can have some discussion here about a child. When as a kid, when he was not stopped to do certain things, when he grows up and does the same thing, he stopped. Then he's having that argument that why now I have to stop. So it is like from the childhood only, it is important to make them realize the difference between what is to be done and what is not to be done. You have always asked me what I want, and this is what I want. So fulfilling their, right now
their raga dvesha. We are again, creating also
this toy I like, so I want this.
And we are
This thing I
encouraging.
want to do.
We are encouraging their raga and dvesha by saying that, oh, it's okay. This is only you like. Fine, we'll give you this. See, right. That's not right way of, exposing kids.
And nowadays, before they ask, the things are there for the kids.
Yeah, that's worst actually.
Yeah. It is not need based. It is greed based.
Absolutely, yeah.
This line also, propriety, not convenience, should be the ruling factor. all of which is implied in Karma Yoga. Like whenever there is sense of duty, like when we there's that the kartavya you have to follow, it will be always be inconvenient because there will be so much of effort and hurdles to carry out. So if a person is caught up in likes and dislike, then he'll remain in that trapped in that that seeking comfort, and why should I. So if a person has to do his kartavya, he has to move out from that
Comfort zone.
that yet from his that zone of comfort and his likes dislikes. Only then you can follow that kartavya. And I was relating it to like taking care of the old parents, which and when we are ourselves in that middle age, so our own problems are there and responsibilities are there, but still if we are like moving up from convenience to kartavya, it takes a lot of effort, and one should do it because this is what Ishvara is required, is like, this is that the law of the nature, basically. So just like wanted to share. Yeah.
Very beautiful. When the kids, they have seen their parents taking care of their grandparents or their, so that will be repeated.
Yeah,
When
that is
they have
also
seen
there.
only that I, me, and my world, then that caring may not be there. Yeah, very beautiful. The word kartavya, yeah, very nicely you explained. That you have to, there are things, situations where you have to go beyond your comfort zone, beyond your convenience. I will just repeat this verse, beautiful verse, this both 30 and 31. And then I think मयि सर्वाणि कर्माणि सन्न्यस्याध्यात्मचेतसा निराशी निर्ममो भूत्वा युध्यस्व विगतज्वरः. Renouncing all actions unto me with a mind that is discriminating, devoid of expectations with reference to the future, and any sense of mindness, without any anger or frustration whatsoever. Fight. So do your kartavya, do your swadharma. ये मे मतमिदं नित्यम् अनुतिष्ठन्ति मानवाः श्रद्धावन्तो न सूयन्तो मुच्यन्ते तेऽपि कर्मभिः. Those people who constantly follow this teaching of mine, full of faith, without asuya, without finding fault with the teaching or the teacher, they too are released by the karma phalas. They are freed from the hold of the karma phalas. They gain moksha. So we have to become that anasuya without finding faults, निराशी, निर्ममः, विगतज्वरः. So I think we can do this tomorrow, as we will stop here. If anyone wants to share, please do. Page 488. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ॐ तत्सत्. सर्वं श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु. जय गुरुदेव.